Hey everybody, how's it going? DishNet34 Robert Tomlinson here, welcoming you to today's broadcast of This Week in Perfect Team, episode number 230 for Baseball Reference Series 4, Part 3. Oh man, what a week it has been. Hopefully your day is going well. Hopefully your week is going well. And for those of you in America, a happy Thanksgiving to you all. That's coming up tomorrow, which is why we are doing Twipped on a Wednesday today. We'll get back to our regular Thursday schedule next week. But just for this week, just because, Thanksgiving be on a Thursday, we're doing it here on a Wednesday. Hopefully y'all have had a great week so far. If you have any Thanksgiving plans, hopefully they go well. I'm planning on making a green bean casserole like always this year. Might throw in a little bit of ranch seasoning just to try something out a little bit. It may be, is it a cooking crime? Maybe. But is it worth a shot on Thanksgiving? Maybe. Just saying. Hey, I gotta try something. I've always wanted to make a recipe my own on Thanksgiving. And you know what? This is a good opportunity to try that. Just to give it a shot. Oh man, but you know what's even better? Do you know what's even better than green bean casserole on Thanksgiving? Oh man, it is some of these cards that we have for y'all today, because we're going to be focusing on some Cy Youngs today. That's right, we are focusing on some Cy Young Award winners with our set here today. But you know what's even better than that, folks? A sale! That's right! A couple of days ago, we launched the Autumn Sale as part of a little bit of a part of Steam's Autumn Sale. Out of the Park 24 is just $19.99 right now. That's one heck of a deal right there. 50% off, as it says around this little strip right here. $19.99 for Out of the Park Baseball 24. You can get in on the action in both Perfect Team and the single player game that you all know and love for just $19.99. That's a doggone good deal right there. But also, along with the sale on the game, we have a Perfect Point sale that's going on right now. That's right, you can get Perfect Points up to 30% off. Oh man, always a great time with these sales. Both of these will last for 1 week until Tuesday, November 28th at 1 p.m. Eastern for the game. 11 p.m. Eastern on the 28th is when the Perfect Point sale is going to end. So, game is 50% off until Tuesday, November 28th at 1 p.m. Eastern. Perfect Point sale lasting until the 28th on 11 p.m. Eastern. So some great stuff right there. Some other great stuff that we have going on. If you were here on yesterday for our good pal Paul's stream, we had the Tuesday Tourney Treasure Trove. I love that he called it that in the picture set that he put on Discord after the show, which was very, very cool. Basically, it's a kind of a stream that we're kind of piloting to kind of show off some lower level cards that'll be in packs, which were released yesterday as well. Some of those cards included a 64 overall peak John Jaso, a 44 overall 2001 Mark McGwire, kind of a late career Mark McGwire. We had a Buddy Biancalana, which I thought was kind of the most random name in there. A silver Steve Carlton, a gold Jonathan Broxton, which sometimes I forget that Jonathan Broxton exists. But we're hoping to do this fairly regularly-ish to kind of show off some more lower-level cards outside of This Week in Perfect Team. Because, I like to focus a little bit more on some of the higher-tier cards, but I also like to give a little bit of love to some of the lower tier cards that we have. And we have some lower tier cards in this collection here today, so stay tuned for that. And along with some of those cards that we talked about, that Paul talked about yesterday, we also released a brand new limited edition card that is in packs right now. And that is a 50 copy limited edition shortstop Manny Machado from the 2016 Baltimore Orioles, 95 overall. 80 BABIP, 95 power, 81 avoid K, 102 contact, 92 gap, and 60 on the eye. Can play third base and shortstop. 96 range, 98 error, 106 arm, and 84 on the turn. Double play for Manny Machado here. And this 2016 season was a pretty good one. Pretty good one for Mr. Machado. Finished 5th in MVP voting that year. He was an all-star. Hit career high 37 homers that year. 96 RBI, 294 average. This was just kind of a put it all together kind of season for Manny Machado. 100 power against righties, some good BABIP against lefties as well. So some interesting splits on this guy. Not a lot of speed on this guy either. 22 speed, 25 stealing, 85 on the base running. Kind of actually a departure from what he did in 2015 when he had 20 stolen bases. And then the next season, he had none in 2016. So, this is a very good defender. He can hit a little bit as a 95, but mainly his calling card is kind of a little bit of a mix of both. I'd say 75% towards defense, 25% kind of toward the hitting part of it. But still pretty interesting player here. Manny Machado, 50 copy limited edition is in packs right now. All right, and also some other stuff coming up this week. If you have not noticed, we have some new pop-up tourneys that are available right now. Some of them are already filled up, so just a little bit of a word of caution. But there's still plenty of room left in some of these pop-up tourneys that we have. We have some Perfect Draft pop-ups happening this weekend. We have the Pranksgiving Perfect Draft, which is already all filled up. The Black Friday Bargain Bin Perfect Draft is, I believe, still has some room left in it. I'll have to double check here in a little bit as of noon Eastern today. Saturday, we have the Pumpkin Pie Forever Pop-Up Perfect Draft and the Sunday Pants Don't Fit Perfect Draft. And I love these perfect drafts that we have. I don't recall whose idea it was on the team, but with the Pranksgiving PD and the Black Friday Bar, well, with all four of those perfect draft pop-ups, I do believe is an interesting format because in the first round, which is normally the perfect round, you have to work around selecting 4 of maybe some of the least picked perfect cards, kind of like the lower tier perfect cards in a perfect draft, which I find absolutely fascinating. We call these core 4 perfect drafts as kind of a tongue-in-cheek way of saying that. So in the Pranksgiving PD, you have to take the 100 overall tournament editions, Bartolo Colon, Jack Clements, Bobby Dorr, Dick Bartell, who, let's face it, are not exactly the greatest 100 overall tournament editions in the world. I'm being a little bit liberal with my description here. Paul was a little bit more direct and to the point with his description yesterday. I at least saw a little bit of that stream yesterday, actually. Friday, for the Black Friday Bargain Bin and for the Pants Don't Fit, you have to take tournament editions Jeff Kent. I believe that's Kevin Brown, Kent Herbeck, and Evan Longoria. So some pretty good stuff there. We also have some traditional pop-up tournaments that still have some room in them. We have the Thanksgiving Day Parade and Thanksgiving Leftover pop-ups on Thursday and Saturday. And for the Friday and Sunday, we have the Black Friday pop-up cap and the Turkey Sandwich pop-up cap tournaments. So, yep, there's still plenty of room left in some of these tourneys. Some very interesting formats for some of the traditional pop-up tourneys as well. I believe a few of them are some diamond and lower tournaments. And I believe the Black Friday pop-up and the Turkey Sandwich pop-up are some caps that you use 2023 cards in them, which is very, very interesting. Which I like that idea. I really do. So some good stuff right there. New pop-up tourneys available. Let's talk about limited editions. We just talked a little bit about the Manny Machado card. We also have one other limited edition card that you can pull out of packs right now, and that is the 96 overall Mike Hampton card from the 1999 Houston Astros, which your boy pulled one. I believe it was on either Sunday or Friday, but your boy is a proud owner of one of the 67 Mike Hamptons that has been pulled so far. Meanwhile, for the Manny Machado card, as of 9 a.m. this morning, we have 1 out of 50 of those Manny Machados that have just been pulled. So, a couple of interesting limited edition cards that are in packs right now. Maybe you'll be getting one of those later on this week, potentially. Nice little Thanksgiving gift if you pull these out of a pack coming up right here. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get to the turkey, the meat and potatoes, the green bean casserole of our content today. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Baseball Reference Series 4, part number 3. Silver Kings, there are none left. There are none left of the Silver Kings. If there were, he would have been on the slide. So we are continuing the 4th series of Baseball Reference cards, focusing on some historic award winners. And like I said earlier, we are taking a look at historic Cy Young Award winners. Now, once again, just like last week, we will have 14 packable cards in total. We'll be showing off 10 of those cards here today. So let's go ahead and get some things started here. And we're going to start off in the bronze ranks. That's right. We still recognize the lower tiers on Twipped every now and again, because I like giving a little bit of love to some of those lower tiers like iron, bronze, silver to kind of start off a stream and all that good stuff. And today we're going to start off with a guy who is just as nice of a career as his overall is. Because kind of a meme overall rating deserves a meme player to go along with it. Ladies and gentlemen, 69 overall right-handed starter from the 2005 Los Angeles Angels, it is Bartolo Colon. Bartolo Colon, the 2005 American League Cy Young Award winner, 63 stuff, 79 movement, 73 homer rating, 85 pitcher BABIP, and 93 control. Some very interesting splits here. He's more of a control and BABIP kind of pitcher right here. 62 stuff against lefties, 75 movement, 71 homer rating, 84 pitcher BABIP, 87 control against lefties. And against righties, he's got 64 stuff, 82 movement, 75 homer rating, 85 pitcher BABIP, and 99 control. A lot of people are pointing out that he only has 6 power. Let me remind you that the home run was with the Mets, and it was about a decade after this card happened. So Bartolo Colon was still not great at the plate at this point in his career. But you know what? Maybe that 6 is rolled over or something like that. Who knows? Yeah, there's clearly more power on a peak card for Bartolo Colon, maybe. Probably. Against righties, he has 64 stuff, 82 movement, 75 homer rating, 85 pitcher BABIP, and 99 control. 94 stamina and 99, a robust 99 on the hold runners, 90 to 92 on the velocity, neutral ground ball, fly ball tendency, fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, sinker, and cutter, which is about 4 more pitches than I thought he would have on this card. just given how I know him from his late career, when he was just mainly a fastball cutter guy, kind of, sort of. But 2005, there's a lot to be said about Bartolo Colon's later career, just because, dude was pitching well into his 40s after kind of a lull in his late 30s. But, Bartolo Colon in 2005 was a pretty darn good pitcher. Like, this was only the second time in his career, the last time in his career, that he won more than 20 games in a year. He did that in 2002 between Cleveland and Montreal, and he did so with the Angels here in 2005, led the American League in wins with 21. Had 21-8 record, a 3.48 ERA, 6.3 strikeouts per 9, 1.7 walks per 9, and a 1.22 ERA plus in 222 and 2/3 innings. He would only reach the 200-inning plateau once more in his career. That was in 2014 with the New York Mets. Had a 3.75 FIP as well, which is pretty darn good. He won the 2005 AL Cy Young Award. It was a lone victory of his career. Had a career low WHIP that year with a 1.159, which was pretty astounding to discover on that. And he won by just 50 vote points, 118 vote points to 68, over some guy named Mariano Rivera. Now, a lot of people might say, look, Johan Santana, probably a bit robbed in this AL Cy Young vote. And yeah, you can probably make a little bit of a case that Johan Santana got a little bit robbed in the 2005 AL Cy Young voting. I mean, the dude had 7.2 WAR, led the league in strikeouts, led the American League in starter WHIP, starter ERA plus, had more innings. So there's a case to be made. 16-7 with a 2.87 ERA. He had a better ERA than Bartolo Colon. But sports writers, they love wins. They love wins. But yeah, Mariano Rivera, you got to give some kudos to Mariano Rivera on his season as well in 2005. I mean, he had a 1.38 ERA, 43 saves. He didn't even lead the American League in saves that year. So, But anyway, Bartolo Colon, kind of an early career Bartolo Colon. He was still 32 at the time of this award. So just a little bit surreal to think, oh God, he was 32 in 2005? I thought he was like 28 or something in 2005. That was not the case. But there you go. Bartolo Colon from the 2005 LA Angels. He is in. Perfect team. 24. Alrighty. Next up, let's go to the silver rank. Now we have a few silvers that are in this set, but this one was kind of the more interesting one to me of all the silvers that we have. And this one comes to us from the 1983 season, and we have American League Cy Young Award winner from the Chicago White Sox, 75 overall, LaMarr Hoyt. LaMarr Hoyt, 69 stuff, 70 movement, 62 homer rating, 93 pitcher BABIP, and 122 on the control. Some fairly close splits right here. Between lefties and righties. Almost even splits, but very, very close. Against lefties, he's got 70 stuff, 71 movement, 63 homer rating, 93 pitcher BABIP, and 121 on the control. Against righties, as a right-hander, 69 stuff, 69 movement, 61 homer rating, 92 pitcher BABIP, and 124 on the control. 94 stamina and 62 on the hold runners. He is an extreme ground ball type. 88 to 90 on the velocity, fastball, slider, curveball, screwball, changeup, and sinker combo on Mr. Lamar Hoyt. Now, 1983, a very interesting year for the Chicago White Sox. They finished first in the AL West, ultimately losing the American League Championship Series that year to the Baltimore Orioles. They were managed by Tony La Russa because the more things change, the more things stay the same. 24-10 this year for Lamar Hoyt. He was pretty much the ace of that staff that year, along with some guy named Richard Dotson, who is still around, who is a guy that played baseball. 24-10 with a 3.66 ERA for Lamar Hoyt, 5.1 strikeouts per nine, 1.1 walks per nine, and a 1.15 ERA plus, which actually was fourth among White Sox starters that year, but he had a 3.33 FIP, which was second among White Sox starters. He led the American League in wins. He led the American League in WHIP as well with a 1.024, led in walks per nine, and led in strikeout to walk ratio as well. So this was a very great season for Lamar Hoyt as kind of his, those underlying stats. He led MLB he actually led MLB in strikeout to walk rate, walks per nine, and WHIP as well. And the last 18 starts that Lamar Hoyt had during that season, just absolutely fantastic. 15-2 in his final 18 starts in the regular season, and he got the White Sox lone win in that American League Championship Series with a complete game victory against Baltimore in that series. So very interesting guy. Very, very interesting guy. And if you kind of want to make a little bit of comparison, he's kind of a charged up Bartolo a little bit. We had the Bartolo Colon card a little bit ago. It's kind of a bit of a more supercharged kind of Bartolo here. You got 6 more stuff, 29 more control, and about 8 more pitcher BABIP with this guy right here. So Lamar Hoyt, very interesting silver card right here. He is in. Perfect team. 24. Yeah, very great control. Very, very great control. Alrighty, next up, let's go to the gold ranks. And oh boy. Oh man, for those of y'all who are perfect team history nuts, this guy, at one point in the perfect team life cycle, back a few years ago, this guy right here, this next card, was the guy to have in your rotation because, my goodness, the movement was great, the control was great, and he is back here in Perfect Team 24. Ladies and gentlemen, from the 2015 Houston Astros, it is 84 overall, left-handed starter and AL Cy Young Award winner, Dallas Keuchel. Dallas Keuchel, 61 stuff, 110 movement, 103 homer rating, 89 pitcher BABIP, and 88 on the control. Definitely a little bit better against lefties than he is against righties as a left-handed pitcher. 68 stuff, 111 movement, 104 homer rating, 100 pitcher BABIP, 97 control. So some really great ratings here against left-handed batters. Now against righties, it's a little bit of a different story. 59 stuff, 110 movement, 103 homer rating, 85 pitcher BABIP, and 85 on the control. He's got 98 stamina and a whopping 105 on the hold runners. He is an extreme ground ball type, so put a great defense behind this guy, and he will be absolutely lights out, hopefully, for your team. 89 to 91 on the velocity. He's got fastball, slider, changeup, sinker, and cutter combo. Now, 2015 for Dallas Keuchel, this was during the kind of the rebirth of the Houston Astros. This was the season where nobody thought that the Houston Astros were going to be as special as they were in 2015. They made it to the playoffs that year unexpectedly. I was kind of rooting for them in the postseason just because they were the underdogs during that time period in 2015. And Dallas Keuchel, a big reason for their success. 20-8 record in 2015 with a 2.48 ERA, 8.4 strikeouts per 9, 2 walks per 9, and a 1.57 ERA plus. He won the American League Cy Young Award that year, finished 5th in American League MVP. That was huge right there. Gold Glove Award winner as well. Won and was also a member of the All-Star team as well. He led the American League in wins, shutouts, whip, and WAR during that 2015 season. So a very deserving Cy Young Award for Dallas Keuchel. Now, one of the biggest things that I found while looking at this is that in 2015, the hard hit rate, and actually that's a typo right there that I have up there. That's on me. Gave up the lowest hard hit ball percentage in the league at 31.3%. It says 21.3. It's actually 31.3%. That's my bad on that. The 2 and 3 buttons are like right next to each other, and sometimes that happens. But that was just absolutely incredible. 61.5% ground ball rate to just a 9.8% fly ball rate. Which, that's just incredible to think about in this day and age. Yeah, and I know the card is missing the beard. I know, but sometimes we have, But you know what? It would have been cool if we had the beard on there. Not gonna lie. But you know what? This is gonna be a fun card, especially in gold and especially in low gold. This should be an interesting one. Dallas Keuchel, kind of a similar shape if you kind of look a little bit closer at it to the new Tournament Edition Pat Henkin card, which I used in a perfect draft recently, and he did surprisingly well for me. Keuchel's a lefty, Henkin's a right, so there's a little bit of a discrepancy with that, but they kind of have the same platoon split favoring lefties a little bit. So kind of a little bit of a comparison there for Dallas Keuchel. So there you go. Dallas Keuchel from the 2015 Houston Astros is in Perfect Team 24. Alrighty. Folks, our next card, I gotta say, I absolutely love game shows. All right. I used to watch Game Show Network quite a bit back in the day. Back when it wasn't showing Family Feud 24/7. Now, a lot of my favorite game shows from there were on there. A lot of them include Password, Match Game, but one that I sneakily enjoyed was a game called Card Sharks. And Card Sharks, it's the one where you gotta figure out whether the next card is higher or lower than the last card and all that good stuff. You can win fabulous prizes and all that. Card Sharks was so underrated. Oh, yeah. And Press Your Luck was great, too, on that channel. Card Sharks. Sneakily underrated. And yeah, you hated getting a 6 to 8. 100%. So when I saw this next card in the list, I had to go back to my game show roots here and announce that the next card comes to us from the 1970 Minnesota Twins. Please welcome 85 overall, Jim Perry. Jim Perry from the 1970 Minnesota Twins, by the way, shares a name with the original host of Card Sharks, by the way. 55 stuff, 107 movement, 104 homer rating, 73 pitcher BABIP, and 102 on the control. 60 stuff, 118 movement, 116 homer rating, 80 pitcher BABIP, and 106 control against righties. So this guy is a big righty killer right here. 81 stamina and 70 on the hold runners. He's a fly ball guy. He's a fly ball guy here. Fastball, slider, and curveball repertoire for Mr. Perry. So Jim Perry, kind of more of a homer control guy. Maybe not too great at BABIP, maybe not too great of stuff, but his 1970 season was definitely, one of the best seasons, if not the best season of Jim Perry's career. 1970 season, let's go ahead and talk about that. He went 24-12, leading Major League Baseball in wins that year with a 3.04 ERA. And it was actually his second straight year with a top 3 finish in Cy Young voting. The previous year with Minnesota, he went 20-6 with a 2.82 ERA, which was pretty interesting stuff there. And he finished third that year behind a couple guys named Mike Cuellar and Denny McClain in 1969. But Jim Perry really broke out as a 34-year-old in the 1970 season. He also led the American League in games started, and both of those, wins and games started, both career highs for Mr. Perry. Against all batters, he gave up a 630 OPS plus during the 1970 season. That was the 4th lowest mark of his career. And I kind of want to get into a little bit into the splits here with Jim Perry, because these are some vast splits right here. I mean, we're talking a 15-point difference between lefties and righties in pitcher BABIP, about 8-point difference in control, a good 31-point difference in home run suppression as well, 12 points and stuff. Let's talk a little bit about this, because against righties, gave up a 620 OPS plus, 245 batting average, 282 on base, 338 slugging, with 10 homers given up. Kind of about a 97 OPS plus relative to the player's total OPS against. Against lefties, he gave up the same amount of home runs in a fewer amount of at-bats and play appearances, giving up a 641 OPS. So it was a little bit closer than I think a lot of people think about. Did have a little bit of a smaller strikeout to walk ratio as well. 10 homers given up that against lefties, 15 doubles, 4 triples, which comes up to about a 104 OPS plus, meaning that the pitcher did a little bit better against lefties, or something like that. Yeah, yeah, this is the guy who tried to sell you a ceramic fish for $5 on Sale of the Century. That is true. That is true. Oh, man, there you go. Jim Perry from the 1970 Minnesota Twins. Yep, and he also hosted a lot of other game shows. Definition, he did Sale of the Century. So very, very great stuff here for Jim Perry. He is in Perfect Team 24. All right, we're nearing the halfway point here today. And of course, when it comes to Cy Young Awards, it has been mostly a starting pitcher award. But there are the few seasons, the very, very few seasons, where a reliever has won the Cy Young Award. And there have been some really good Cy Young seasons among relievers. I mean, you talk about guys like Eric Gagne, who were just absolutely spectacular during the year. But this one I found was a very interesting vote here. A little bit of a surprising vote given a lot of the other pitchers that were really dominating during this particular season. But very, very interesting player here. Ladies and gentlemen, we take you to the 1989 San Diego Padres. And we bring to you the 1989 National League Cy Young Award winner. It is left-handed reliever Mark Davis. Mark Davis. I had barely ever heard of this guy before I saw him in the list, but look at this guy right here. 92 stuff, 99 movement, 90 homer rating, 96 pitcher BABIP, and 76 on the control. A little bit better against righties than he is against lefties. 92 stuff, 100 movement, 91 homer rating, 97 pitcher BABIP, and 75 control. No relation, by the way, to the guy that owns the Las Vegas Raiders and does not want, and really kind of doesn't really want John Fisher to be in Las Vegas. But I will digress. 1989 season for Mark Davis. He's got a fastball and curveball. He throws 92-94, fly ball guy. Very interesting stats here. 70 games in the 1989 season. Had 92 2/3 innings pitched, 44 saves, which actually led MLB in that category. 1.85 ERA, 8.9 strikeouts per 9, and 3 walks per 9. Now, of course, this was Cy Young voting during the 1980s when the closer concept was kind of, a little bit still on the fresh side, but still kind of entrenched a little bit. And the voters were like, "Whoa, buddy, look at them saves! Woo! Awooga!" Which is pretty much the reason why, God rest his soul, Willie Hernandez won the 1984 Cy Young Award and MVP. But Mark Davis during the 1989 season was the 4th closer to win the Cy Young Award in the National League and was the last to do so until Eric Gagne did so in 2003. Led MLB with 44 saves like we mentioned, and he led the National League with 65 games finished during the regular season. And in the MVP vote, in 1989, he finished in the top 10. He finished 6th. Now, granted, this is a very solid year for a reliever. But top 10 in MVP? Gotta love the 80s, folks. Gotta love the 80s. He finished in front of Tony Gwynn in NL MVP voting. Tony Gwynn finished 8th. Mark Davis finished 6th. That just goes to show you something. I don't know what. He also finished ahead of Lonnie Smith. Lonnie Smith had 8.8 WAR for the Atlanta Braves. He hit .315, 21 homers. Nope, reliever's better than him. Sad. But you know what? The 80s were something. But yeah, this guy, Mark Davis, you kind of look at him a little bit. He's kind of more of a platoon neutral kind of version of the recent Brad Hand card that we released a few weeks back. Just a little bit of extra stamina in there with that 32 stamina. So, but I wouldn't put him as a starter though, because, only 2 pitches there with that fastball and curveball. So there you go. Mark Davis from the 1989 San Diego Padres is in Perfect Team 24. Alrighty, let's get to some diamonds and let's get to some perfects as well. Let's start with the diamonds. Let's go with diamonds now. And oh boy, if you want to talk about some of the more dominant Cy Young campaigns of the last few years, this guy right here definitely has to be right up there in one of the most dominant pitching seasons that we have seen in a while. Or at least in terms of historical relevance, because this guy broke a very, very cool record, which, you know, I was kind of tracking, okay, when's this streak gonna break? You know what I mean? And it only took about 58 strikeouts before this guy threw a walk during the 2021 season. Ladies and gentlemen, from the 2021 Milwaukee Brewers, it is 96 overall, Corbin Burnes. Corbin Burnes, 115 stuff, 125 movement, 119 homer rating, 89 pitcher BABIP, and 94 on the control. Against righties, he got 120 stuff, 124 movement, 117 homer rating, 92 pitcher BABIP, 93 on the control. Against lefties, he's got 110 stuff, 128 movement, 122 homer, 85 pitcher BABIP, and 95 control. 61 stamina and 55 on the hold runners. He's a ground ball guy, throws 96 to 98, has a slider, curveball, little bit of a changeup, sinker, and a cutter. 2021 season for Corbin Burnes. This guy did not throw a heck of a lot of walks. In fact, he had 58 strikeouts in the season before he threw his first walk of the season. Let's go to the game logs on that, shall we? He made it through the entire month of April before he threw a walk, before he issued a walk. And that was on May 13th against St. Louis. And the guy that got walked was, if I can find it, Tommy Edman. Tommy Edman, the first walk that Corbin Burnes issued during that 2021 season. And that was in the top of the fifth of that game. So Corbin Burnes, that set an MLB record that year. 58 strikeouts before the first walk of the season. He won 11-5 overall with a 2.43 ERA, 12.6 strikeouts per nine, 1.8 walks per nine, and a 1.63 FIP on the year. 1.63 FIP. That is outstanding stuff right there. And it was actually, you know, despite all that, despite his accomplishments during the year, it was a very close Cy Young vote in 2021. Corbin Burnes winning by just 10 vote points over the Phillies' Zach Wheeler, who had a little bit better WAR, had a few more wins, led in innings, led in strikeouts. But Corbin Burnes, man, Corbin Burnes, very, very good pitcher that year. Honestly, could have gone either way with Corbin Burnes versus Zach Wheeler. Led MLB in ERA, strikeouts per nine, homers per nine, FIP, and the K to walk ratio. Now, if you want to make a little bit of a comparison here with Corbin Burnes, his skill profile kind of looks like some 99s and some more higher overall diamonds, but he kind of gets a little bit dinged because he doesn't have a whole lot of stamina. I mean, we're talking he only threw 167 innings that year in 28 starts. Didn't average a whole lot of innings per start here. So make sure that if you play this guy, maybe in tournaments, make sure you got some bullpen support for him, because 61 stamina, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. So there you go. Corbin Burnes from the 2021 Milwaukee Brewers is in Perfect team. 24. All right, next up, as soon as I started talking about diamonds a little bit ago, just before we showed Corbin Burns, I was looking at the live stream chat, I should say. And there was one guy in here that kind of asked a very important question, or at least made an observation that we haven't seen this next guy in the game, like, almost at all. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna give you that card right now. Ladies and gentlemen, from the 2012 New York Mets, the 2012 NL Cy Young Award winner, 97 overall, knuckleball specialist, R.A. Dickey. 100 stuff, 94 movement, 85 homer rating, 97 pitcher BABIP, and 92 control. Against righties, he's got 102 stuff, 91 movement, 84 homer rating, 101 pitcher BABIP, and 97 control. Against lefties, he's got 96 stuff, 98 movement, 86 homer rating, 92 pitcher BABIP, and 86 control. He's got 103 stamina, 80 on the hold runners, ground ball guy, 83 to 85 miles per hour on the velocity, sinker, and of course, a 126 rated knuckleball. Because what is R.A. Dickey if not for the knuckleball? Just some guys serving meatballs to the Detroit Tigers in 2005. But I digress. 2012. Man, I remember playing MLB 2K back when R.A. Dickey was really, really getting good. And I would love pitching as R.A. Dickey. All right? And this is a great representation of this guy's season right here. Because, oh my goodness, this guy, kind of revolutionized the knuckleball. Like kind of made it cool again. After, we had guys like Wakefield really do well with it. But unfortunately, he's really one of the last knuckleball pitchers. So it's a little sad that we don't really have a knuckleball guy anymore in the big leagues, but maybe he'll come back someday. That'd be fantastic. That's just me though. 2012 season for R.A. Dickey, a phenomenal season by any stretch of the imagination. 20-6 with a 2.73 ERA, 8.9 strikeouts per nine, 2.1 walks per nine, and a 1.39 ERA plus. Lone Cy Young finish in his career. The lone Cy Young finish in his career. This is the only time they actually got a vote for a Cy Young award, which was very, very interesting. Led the National League in strikeouts that year with 230 of them. Had 5 complete games, 3 shutouts, and 233.2 innings pitched. All led the National League. And this was a historic win because he became the first knuckleball in MLB history to win the Cy Young Award vote. And this guy, as you may well recall, was a key centerpiece after this particular season. Oh boy, I don't know if I'm going to be triggering Mets fans or Blue Jays fans here with this next statement. He was traded by the New York Mets with Mike Nikias and Josh Tolley to the Toronto Blue Jays for some guy named Wilmer Becerra, some guy named John Buck, another guy named Travis d'Arnaud, and some scrub named Noah Syndergaard. Not sure who that was, but yeah, R.A. Dickey was the centerpiece in that particular deal. A lot of people, there was a lot of capital for R.A. Dickey. And then he goes to a place where it's like more home run prone. So that was always a deal that was kind of destined to not go as well for the Blue Jays. Because, R.A. Dickey, he gave up a few dingers. Yeah, and Tusuiji has it kind of right a little bit. He was a reliable innings eater for the mid-2010s Jays. Problem is, the closed dome nerfed his knuckler because of less wind. Yep. That's pretty much exactly it. So, deal didn't quite work out for the Blue Jays, and we all know how Noah Syndergaard did from there with the Mets. So there you go. R.A. Dickey, the 2012 New York Mets. He is in. Perfect team. 24. All right, next up, let's go to the late 2000s. Let's go to the late 2000s. And man, oh man, I was not really aware of this guy growing up. Because, my formative years in baseball were kind of the mid-2000s, around 2006 or so I didn't really know how good this guy could get until the 2008 season, when I saw this guy dominate just everybody in the American League Central Division. Ladies and gentlemen, from the 2008 Cleveland team, Cy Young Award winner, Cliff Lee. 91 stuff, 124 movement, 120 homer rating, 77 pitcher BABIP, and 118 control. Some very, very close splits here with Cliff Lee. 92 stuff against lefties, 91 against righties. Movement is very good against both sides. Control is really good, but the one little sticking point that I think a lot of people are going to be seeing here, that's 77 pitcher BABIP. 94 stamina, 87 on the hold runners. Fastball, curveball, changeup, sinker, and cutter combo on this guy right here. Now, I remember Cliff Lee as the guy who was really good and would get traded a lot. But man, oh man, he was really good. A lot of people forget that he was really good just a few seasons prior with Cleveland. But then in 2007, it all went wrong for this guy. The season prior, he had a 5-8 record with a 6.29 ERA in 20 games. That's what we call in the business horrendous. But then he comes out in the 2008 season and just absolutely puts on a clinic. Goes 22-3, 2.54 ERA, 6.9 strikeouts per 9, 1.4 walks per 9, a 1.67 ERA plus, which over a full season is the highest that he has had in his career. Led MLB in wins, walks per 9. He led the American League in ERA, FIP, homers per 9, and ERA plus. Dude only gave up 12 homers in those 223 and a third innings he had during this season. And with the season he had, he became the first 20-game winner to lose 3 or fewer games during the regular season. Which that is pretty interesting stat right there. Now, for Cliff Lee, this is kind of a unique card, as you can see a little bit here. All right. His 118 control is tops among Diamond starters. His 120 home run rate is second only to Andy Pettitte. So Lee is kind of basically maybe a little bit of a charged up Andy Pettitte with a lot more stuff and control. But definitely the pitcher BABIP is going to be something maybe a little bit concerning if you get this guy. But maybe if you have a really good defense behind him, that could possibly negate that a little bit. So this is a very fun card here. Cliff Lee from the 2008 Cleveland team. He is in. Perfect team. 24. Okay, yeah, Boiler Nemo with a good point there. That is true. 1978 Ron Guidry. Yeah. All right, we got a couple of perfects for you today. We have a couple of perfect cards for you today. Now, a lot of people, when I started saying late 2000s and dominating, automatically went to our next guy. So you guys were just about a card early here. About a card early there. All right? Because now we have a guy who was absolutely dominant in the National League during his season. No, it's not another Tiger. Jeez. Y'all got Verlander last week. This next guy comes to us from the 2007 San Diego Padres. It is 100 overall, Jake Peavy. Jake Peavy, 114 stuff, 118 movement, 104 home run rating, 108 pitcher BABIP, and 91 control. Woo, buddy. This is pretty darn good right here. 118 stuff against righties, 122 movement, 108 homer rating, 112 pitcher BABIP, and 93 on the control. Against lefties, he's got 109 stuff, 112 movement, 100 homer rating, 104 pitcher BABIP, and 89 control. This is a fantastic looking card right here. 97 stamina, 55 on the hold runners, fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, sinker, and cutter. Oh man, I can just picture the pitching tree from MLB Power Pros 2008, which was based on this guy's 2007 season. This guy was an absolute beast in 2007, and he was actually pretty decent in 2008 as well. 19-6 record for Jake Peavy during the regular season, a 2.54 ERA, 9.7 strikeouts per nine, 2.7 walks per nine, and a 2.84 FIP. He won the Triple Crown in the 2007 season. That's how great of a season it was. Holy cow. This is actually the lone Cy Young Award win of his career. Won it in, I think it was a close one over Brandon Webb. I need to take a look again, see how close this was, because, oh yeah, it wasn't close. It was a unanimous Cy Young. What am I thinking? What am I thinking? Man, oh man. A unanimous Cy Young win for Jake Peavy over Brandon Webb, who, by the way, was pretty darn good in 07 as well. Led MLB in ERA, strikeouts, and FIP and WHIP as well. You know, when almost won MLB pitching Triple Crown. Just didn't quite have enough wins in 2007 right there. But man, oh man. This guy just absolutely dominated everybody during the 2007 season. Whoo boy, a 1.061 whip, a 2.84 FIP, so a 30-point difference in FIP there. 240 strikeouts. Man, oh man, oh man. Just an absolute beast. Actually finished 7th in NL MVP that year as well, finishing behind Chipper Jones, Ryan Howard, David Wright, Prince Fielder, Matt Holliday, Jimmy Rollins. So he was right up there with some of the elite players in MLB that year. Jake Peavy, you know, if you want to make a little bit of a comparison, he's kind of similar to the Mike Norris. That was a Perfect Team World Championship card pool reward. Just adding a little bit more stuff, a little bit more control to that. So he's kind of right up there with the Mike Norris card that we had. So there you go. Jake Peavy from the 2007 San Diego Padres is it. Perfect team. 24. All right, guys, we got one more card left. It is another 100 overall card, but this time we're going to go back a few decades. And this guy's been mentioned a little bit in the live chat today. But you know what? This guy, oh man, this guy, 3 quality pitches, great stamina, and probably one of the best, if not the best, pitching season in New York Yankees history. Ladies and gentlemen, from the 1978 New York Yankees, it is Louisiana Lightning, Ron Guidry. 126 stuff, 120 movement, 102 homer rating, 116 pitcher BABIP, and 85 control. Against lefties, he's got 133 stuff, 122 movement, 104 homer rating, 123 on the pitcher BABIP, and 87 control. Against righties, he's got 124 stuff, 119 movement, 101 homer rating, 114 pitcher BABIP, and 84 control. He's pretty darn good against both lefties and against righties. 107 stamina, 97 on the hold runners, neutral ground ball, fly ball tendency, 93 to 95 on the velocity, fastball, slider, changeup combo. Ron Guidry. Whoo, but 25-3 record. All-time single season record for winning percentage by a pitcher with 20 wins. He had an .893 win percentage that year, and that was just the start. And that's just the start of how dominant Ron Guidry was in 1978. Had a 1.74 ERA, 8.2 strikeouts per 9, 2.4 walks per 9, led MLB in wins, ERA. He had 9 shutouts as well, an ERA plus of 208, a FIP of 219, a .946 whip, 6.1 hits per 9, which is pretty darn good as well. Only gave up 13 homers in 273 and 2/3 innings pitched. He was a unanimous Cy Young Award winner and was second place in AL MVP vote, which honestly, if Jim Rice didn't have the season he had in 1978 when he went just supernova with 46 homers, 139 RBI, Ron Guidry would have won the American League MVP award. Absolutely incredible season for Ron Guidry. Just dominated everybody, really. And against the California Angels on June 17th, he struck out a Yankee record 18 batters, and that's usually cited, actually, as the launching pad of the Yankee Stadium tradition of fans standing and applauding for a strikeout with 2 strikes on the opposing batter. Pretty cool stuff right there. Oh boy. Yeah, and the 248 strikeouts set a Yankees franchise record for most strikeouts by a pitcher in a single season, but it was a record that stood only until last year when Garrett Cole recorded 257 strikeouts for the Yankees. So there you go. Ron Guidry, just a fantastic win. Just a fantastic guy, and he is in perfect team 24. So there you go. Ron Guidry, final card that we are showing off in the set. But there's a few more cards that are in this set. We have 14 cards in total with this set. Here's the other 4 that we did not show on stream. We have 60 overall Bob Welch from the 1990 Oakland A's. We have 73 overall Pete Vukovich from the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers. 76 overall Mike Flanagan from the 1979 Baltimore Orioles, and 83 overall Barry Zito for the 2002 Oakland Athletics. So there you go, your baseball reference for Part 3 set. Mark Davis, Corbin Burns, R.A. Dickey, Cliff Lee, Ron Guidry, and Jake Peavy, the main highlights from today's collection. Some great darn players right here. Fun set here today, folks. Very, very fun set. Love the baseball reference sets that we've done so far. Ooh, buddy. All right, folks, before we sign off for the day, let's go ahead and give a shout out to our weekly leaderboard champs in the tournament realm for week 33 for PTCS 8-period week number 3 from November 13th through 19th. In the Daily Iron, we have Salza and the Apache Junction River Kings winning with 109 points. Daily Bronze last week, Jimbo Dan won, and the Strong Baddie Tires with 91 points. Daily Silver last week was won by Shy Sox Fan 33 and Ozzie Guillen's Gold Sox with 117 points. Daily Gold was won by Mr. Audit 3 and Mr. Audit's Golden Girls with 138 points. Daily Diamond was won by KC86 and the Mississauga Leaf Tours with 137 points. Mr. Ree and the Woodmore Fightin' Amish. They are on a 3-week streak, winning the Daily Open. They won last week with 117 points. In the Daily Wildcard, we had Mac Jacks and the San Angelo Warbirds with 102 points, winning the week last week. Weekly tournaments, Lidora and the Midgar Materia with 151 points, won a tiebreaker to win the weekly tournament championship. For Perfect Draft Daily, it was Bahoot and the California Halos getting first place last week with 158 points. And then in the PD Weekly, Ail Simeon and the Perugia Warriors with 74 points. All right, folks, thank you so much for tuning in today. We really appreciate y'all being here on a Wednesday. And I hope that for those of you in America, you have a fantastic Thanksgiving tomorrow, and that you stay safe, stay healthy, and keep up the good stuff, y'all. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. The replay tonight is going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern instead of 9 p.m. Eastern, just so we don't interfere with the hockey guys coming up at 10 p.m. Eastern. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great rest of the day, everybody. I've been DishNet34, Rob Tomlinson, signing out. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.